Hello, beautiful people. Once more, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Mr. Bokanju Akem. In this channel, we talk about agricultural and livestock activities as well as agribusiness. If this is your first time of watching my video, do subscribe, like, share, and above all, drop us a comment in our comment section. In today's video, I'm going to talk about poultry housing principles, reasons why we house poultry, some of the housing requirements, and how to locate your poultry building. So what are some of the reasons that we house poultry? The first thing is for comfort. We have to provide comfort to birds so that they'll be able to secure their performance if they are for meat or for eggs. Another reason why we house poultry is simply for protection. We have to protect them first against predators. We have to protect them against diseases. We have to protect them against inclement weather. We have to secure production. And above all, we have to provide that work convenience. We should be able to work conveniently in a poultry building. As you know, birds that are in the wild, they protect themselves against predators and weather on branches of trees or maybe under thick bushes. So man, through domestication, has reduced the vigor and vitality of birds to secure high performance either for meat or for eggs. So those are some of the reasons why we tend to house poultry. So what are some of those requirements? What are some of those housing requirements for poultry? The first thing you have to know is the floor space. The floor space is very, very important in the sense that if you want to, go in for broilers, for example, you are supposed to know the stocking density per meter square. For example, broilers is between 8 to 10 birds per meter square. Or you can take 0.125 meter square per bird and you multiply by the number of birds that you want to rear. It will give you the exact surface area. You know, this particular requirement is very important because overcrowding, would tend to promote bad habits among a flock. There will be feather picking and cannibalism. Overcrowding, as you know, will bring a lot of problems to your flock. Another reason is ventilation. Ventilation is very important because it brings in fresh air into your poultry building and it takes out, moisture from your litter, and then it helps, to keep the environment very fresh. What we have to know is that chickens generally they need 0.5 liter of air per kilogram of live weight per minute. It therefore means that every minute a bird will need 0.5 liter per kilogram. So if your bird is 2 kilograms, automatically it will need 1 liter of air every minute. So those things are very, very important that we need to know when we are setting up our poultry building. Another very important requirement is temperature. As we all know, birds, the normal temperature in a poultry should range between 16 to 21 degrees. So when this temperature maybe is high or low, if it is too high, it will cause the birds to develop bad habits like feather picking and cannibalism. But when the temperature is normal, it will cause them to lay well or maybe to add weight if it's for broiler production. A situation of very low temperature, what you will notice in your poultry is that the birds will consume that feed and then convert that feed into heat so that they have to, in order to maintain their body temperature. In situations where the feed is absent, body tissues will therefore be oxidized in order to generate the heat that they need to keep themselves comfortable. Another very important requirement is light. As you know, light is very, very important in the poultry building, not excess light, especially during the early mornings, the early hours of the morning. You realize that the birds will tend to be running around play because they need that sunlight. And then sunlight too, it helps to eliminate some bacteria in your poultry. It helps to supply or provide birds with vitamins that are essential for their growth. Other requirements include dryness. Dryness, your poultry has to be very dry. Your litter has to be very dry because when your poultry is damp, the tendency that bacteria will develop in that environment, especially some pathogenic organisms like coccidia, they will tend to develop in that damp litter, and then they will affect your bird. So when your litter is dry, it will be difficult for your birds to pick up diseases from there. So keep your poultry building very, very, very dry. As far as the location of your poultry building is concerned, the first thing you have to take note is the building, how you have to locate your building in with respect to other buildings. Your building normally is supposed to be located away from where people are living, but not too far. It should not be far, because you have to go there at least twice a day. You have to feed them, you have to provide them water, you have to observe them and see how they are behaving on day-to-day basis. If it's very far from their habitation, you realize that people can go there to steal, other predators can go there. So if it's too close to habitation, one of the problem you realize is odor. People will be complaining of odor, and then the council area in which you may be located will tell you maybe to move from there to an area that is far. You can equally locate it far from where people are living, but ensure that you provide maybe a house for farm attendants and other staff that have to work and take care of your birds. Another very important point that you have to consider when you want to locate your building is orientation. How can you actually orientate your building? During the day, the sunlight, it helps birds to play around, because very in the early hours of the morning, if you observe your birds, they like to play, especially when the early sunrise. So how do you orientate your building? You have to orientate your building either facing the east or the south. The reason being that the north and the west, or the west and the north, they have prevailing wind and storm. So it is objectional in so many localities that people don't orientate their building towards the north or the west and the north. Another important location that you have to consider, another important point when you want to consider, is the soil and how the drainage is being carried out. You cannot locate your poultry on a hilltop because of wind. During situations where winds are blowing, it can cause cold or bronchitis in your birds. You cannot equally locate your building in a valley because of poor drainage. So you have to locate your poultry, especially for free range. You have to locate your building in an area that is very fertile. The soil has to be very fertile and well drained, so that the vegetation can grow and then your birds can feed on them. Those are some of the important location requirements. So in a poultry building, for example, I'm going to show you a small poultry building, because this video we are actually doing inside small poultry building. How the ventilation is being done. You see how the poultry has been built. You have to allow the floor, for example, your floor has to be cemented, because you have to spread wood shaving on them. Then your windows have to be at a certain level, about 1 meter from the floor, 1 meter from the floor, and then you put wire mesh to prevent wild birds and thieves or other predators from having access to your birds. So let me just show you a little demonstration of how a poultry building should look like. So as you can see, as you can see, this is the wire mesh. As you can see, this is the level of blocks. From here is about 1 meter, and then you have the wire mesh to prevent predators, wild birds to have access into the building. Then the floor equally, as you can see, the floor is concrete, so that it will help you if you have to put your wood shaving. It will help you to clean it. It will help you to wash it. It will help permit you to wash and then disinfect. Equally, at the entrance of your poultry, you have a foot bath where you have to put a disinfectant, so that whenever people are entering inside, they can disinfect their feet, and then they enter to prevent diseases from prevent disease from attacking your flock. So here is a small brooder as we are inside this poultry building. These are the birds at about 7 days a week and some days. Very soon they'll be taken to the market. They'll be taken to the market now. They'll be taken to the market maybe after 21 days, or it will depend to keep them till they'll keep them till when they are 45 days old. So these are these are some of the requirements that you supposed to have an idea on. So if you find our videos interesting, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and above all, drop us a comment in our comment section. Thank you very much for watching my video.